Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3. It's Aaron from ASM Computing. As again, this is part 3 and hopefully our last part of this series, which was our jQuery and PHP to insert new content, whether it be you using it as an admin backend feature or allowing it for other users on your website to basically insert new content into your database, and it will actually show that post straight after you submit it without any page refresh. So if you haven't already seen the first and second part, I do recommend to go and watch them first, just so you get an understanding of what I've described that Bits and Pieces does, and just to obviously get an overview of everything that's happening so far. Else, sitting here listening to me talk about this, you're going to get confused, and I can't waste time on this video explaining the other two. So please go and watch part 1 and 2 so you can catch up. And yeah, let's carry on with part 3. So this is where we left off. As I say, we're showing that we have no news bulletins to show, and we just got our form to upload our new article. As again, if you click submit, it doesn't actually do nothing. Okay, so let's open up Dreamweaver again. Here's our test page with what we have so far, and this was our news load page, which is what actually gets the news out and loads it from the database. So the next thing is we want to add a new PHP file, and this one is going to be the one to actually submit the data. So we want to open up our PHP brackets, come down and close them off, and I'm going to call this, or save it as, in the same folder I'm saving all of my files into the same directory, just so I haven't actually got to use anything different. The only thing that was different, which I showed you in the first or second part, was just our jQuery library, which is in a different folder. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to name this as news underscore pass, and as I say, this is going to be the one where we actually input this into the database. So if we save that, now we have another new file, and again I'm just going to print in what we want. So let me just nick these couple of bits here. We don't actually need our session start, so I'm just going to take the include and print that in there, and I'm just going to add the rest of the bit of script that I've got here. Oh, sorry, bear with me 2 seconds guys, I'm just grabbing the script for you now. And okay, so the first thing we want to do is include once, and we want to connect to our database. Well, actually, let's take that out. Oh, so let's take that out for a minute, and I've got to put that somewhere else, so I do apologise. Okay, so news title is going to be equal to post news title. Now I'm getting these from, it will be from our Ajax post method, but as again, I just normally keep mine the same as my input. So news article here, where our title is being shown, which is here, you can actually see it says news title, or here, news title. That, oh, sorry guys, that is going to be referenced to this one here, so news title, and again news body is news body. Now these here are going to be exactly the same as what's going to be within the Ajax method to actually post all of this in the back end, but I just like to keep it the same in the form, in the Ajax and the PHP, else you're going around having to change everything. Unless needed to change it, I just tend to keep it all the same. So we're going to post the news title, and then we're going to put a MySQL real escape string, which will just clear out any unwanted characters in there. And again the same on the post body, which is, or the news body, sorry, which is here. This one here, news body, as well, we're going to put an NL2BR, which is going to be a new line to break. So if you had a load of text inside of your form and you had break tags, not that they would show up, but if you pushed enter, they act as break tags. So if it finds any of them, it will just add a new line to break, and it will just separate them out for you. And we also want to put HTML special chars. So anything, for instance, where we have brackets on HTML, we are taking these brackets out and putting an equivalent of their special character. So whatever this is equivalent to as a special character is what's inserted into the database. And if you obviously wanted to pull this back out, keeping this as it is and displaying it back to the user how it is shown now, you can use HTML special decode, which you can actually find at php.net, and that will just show you this as we are seeing it now. The HTML special chars just prevents any unwanted attacks against your database or any unwanted threats that hackers may use. So it's always good to try and use that. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is if is set news title and is set news body. So if they both are set with content inside of them, then we can start to go through our functions and then insert it to the database. So we want to say news title is equal to preg replace, and basically all we're doing, we're just searching through the title, making sure that it's only got A through Z, so that should be A through Z as capital. So capital is A through Z, lowercase a through Z, 0 through 9, space, question mark, and these couple of little bits here. So anything basically inside these square brackets is what is allowed to be used inside of our news title. So if we had an opening bracket, that would be took out and replaced, and that's going to be put on a news title. And then we just have a few if conditions here, which just basically says if the news title is equal to nothing, and we just print this out and then exit. Else if the if the string length news title is less than 5, and then just give them a message of your article title is less than 5 characters, exit the script. You always want to exit the script if something isn't matched to whatever you signify. So if there was no news title set and they push enter, we don't want to have the form sat there, or we don't want to have people sat there and nothing happening. We want to actually echo out a message to let them know what's happened. So the article title is missing, and then we exit the script to save the script, carry on running, because obviously we don't want to insert false database data. So we exit that, and again the same for the string length news title. Okay, so next we do another SQL, or not another because it's the first one. We do an SQL query and we insert into, so we just have 3, and the values is going to be news title, news body, take this out, and so news title is going to be title, news body will be content, and the date time is going to be now. This now here, this part here will actually input the date and the time of when the user actually posted, so that's why we use now, or die MySQL error. So if there is a problem, we just have an output put to our screen to show us whatever we've got as an error. So then we say this ID variable is a name we've made is going to be equal to MySQL insert ID. So any new post that's being put into the database is going to have this ID equal to MySQL insert ID, which will just give it that auto increment. So the first time it loops through, we insert, it goes 1. The next time it goes through, it's 2, and 3, 4, so on and so on. So this is just what's going to be used as our ID. Then we say else, so if this isn't set and this isn't set, if they're both empty, we say else, there was a problem somewhere, please try again. And then we exit the script. Okay, so let's save that, and let's upload that to the database. I've got a funny feeling, guys, this may go on to one more video. I'm hoping it won't, but if it does, it does. I really don't want it to go to a third video, just because of it's going to be too long for you guys to sit there and keep watching 4 videos, but if that's the case, then it makes it easier for you guys to to keep watching them and then learn them. Okay, so if I refresh the page, you won't see no difference, and even if I submit, nothing will happen. So that's everything set up. The last part is just our jQuery. So all we need to do is set our jQuery in to do all of our work for us. So what I'm going to use is basically 3 pages, or 3 PHP pages. So I'm going to go back to test, and right under this function of the Ajax and the post method we've been using, I'm going to come to this last opening and closing bracket and parenthesis, a couple of lines down. I'm going to print this in. So this is where we finished, and this here is going to be the new part. So this code from here to here is what I took from Adam Corey and what I'm using. So please don't praise me for this code. If you want to praise anyone, please praise Adam Corey. But anything after that, or anything else that I may not have shown you, that I've said it isn't used or is used by Adam, everything else is what I've done. Okay, enough of my blibber blabber, jibber jabber. Let's get on and explain this code. So jQuery hash, which is the ID response form. So our div that holds our form, we want to get the .submit function. So we want to set a function on the submit, which is going to be our input button right here, which you can see we have a type of submit. As you can see here, we say the function input and then the type of submit. This meaning whichever button it is that we've pressed, depending on wherever the form is located. We give the attribute of disabled, so it basically disables the button from being pressed again. And then we say function pass response. Pass response is, if I just quickly find it, this here, which is what I said about our form action from video 1. That is what is going to be used to do our form. and basically we set up our variables. So news title is going to be news title, news body, news body. We don't actually need these two, so I can get rid of them. So news title, news body, and basically this is the variable we're making, which is news title, and that is going to be equal to jQuery ID of news title. So this part here actually signifies this input box right here. As this is the news title input box, we're using the ID, which is the ID of news title, and that, just as I say, is what is here, this bit. So you do that for the title and the body. The URL is our news pass, which was this one. And then we have a few conditions to say if the news title dot value equals nothing. So if the value inside of this element here is empty, or the element of, or the input, sorry, of this one here is empty, we just give them an error. We just show them which the form error is displayed here, which is hidden again until any form error is shown, which you can see it's got .show, and then we fade it out after 3000 milliseconds, which is actually 3 seconds. And as I said to you before, this is HTML that you can actually put directly inside. So we just say please type something. Else if the news title.value.length is less than 5, or the body is less than 5. So if the content they've input is anything less than 5, we just say your title and article must be at least 5 characters long. Else, come down to this part. So we say my button one.hide. So this is my button one, which is this this one here, submit article, my button one. That's our submit, my button one. We hide that. Then we show a process GIF to let the user know what's happening. Sorry guys, let me just quickly get rid of these. We don't actually need that one, and we don't need that one. Okay, so then we use the jQuery.post method. So we set our URL in here, which is going to be news pass, and then our news title, which is our news title.value, and our news body, which is our news body.value. And just to make sure that people do realise that if any of this doesn't make any sense, basically the this side here, so this news title and news body and news title.value are going to be what's corresponded to these two here, and basically this here on the left side before the colon here, this one here and this one here is what's going to be used once sent to PHP. So we put that in a function and we call that data. Then we say response form, which is our div holding our form, slide up fast. These two here we set the documents for the news title and the news body, the values to nothing. So once it's been submitted, we don't want to actually have anything shown in the boxes, we want to make them empty again. We hide our processing GIF, and then we show my button one again. Now this part here is exactly the same as what we put here, but we put it at the beginning and just after the posting of the function, just so then we can get all our retrieval posts here, and then once we've actually sent a new post, we return and call this function again to actually display any new posts out. Okay, so if you need to pause this at any time, please pause it and fill it or copy it out. but this should all work. So let's put all of our files back up and let's test it out. Okay, so let's refresh. So there's none there yet. So this is our first news article. This is a cool way of showing the user what they just posted. So we click submit article and hopefully we don't have any errors, else if we do I may have to do another video and just quickly show you what the error was to fix it and what have you, because I'm actually at 22 minutes at the moment, so I'm hoping this will go through. So let's hit submit and we're not shown nothing, so it looks like we do have an error. So let's check our database, browse. Right, okay, it's not being inserted into the database. Okay guys, right, I'm actually going to make another video. I'm going to quickly pause this one here, find out what the problem is, and then I'm going to come back and tell you. Okay, I'll see you in a minute guys. Okay, I'm back guys. I haven't actually tested it yet, but I think I know what the big problem was, and it was a bit of a big problem. In the newspass.php, you may remember that I put this in, but I took it back out, and basically I submitted these forms up to the web, tried it and it didn't work, wondered why, and this is why, because I didn't actually put my database connection in. So I'm going to come back to our form and I'm going to refresh and let's, as you can see, even double clicking you can't get back up whatever was input last, so it clears out the form. So test news article 1, this is a cool news article form to display post just made by the user. Okay, fingers crossed guys, this works. So submit and nothing again. Okay, well this is good. It's not a bad thing to keep having errors or problems. It does help when trying to work it out, and I do like to have it live so that you guys can see that not everything is done and working straight away. So I'm going to stop this video here. I'm going to go back, or I may just pause it, quickly figure it out, try posting, get it working, and then come back and explain. So bear with me and I'll be back shortly guys. Okay, I'm back guys. I had a tiny little mistake. The first part was obviously my database connection file. The second thing I'd done wrong was where I was inserting into, I actually had tutorials. That isn't the name of my table, it was actually tutorial without the S. So that's why it wasn't sending. So as you can see, I've just tried it and this is how it went. So I'm going to refresh and it should disappear. And I'm going to show you how it works now. So in here again, we've got nothing in here. There's nothing inserted. So add article. So we call this test title for news article 1. And this is a cool form to show the user what they just posted without page refresh. Okay, so when we submit, if you look where the submit button is, you'll see the little loader that I've got there at the minute. It's not great, but it's just something there. and then you should see directly where this form is our display of our post. So submit. As you can see, we have test title for news article 1, which is a link, posted January 2nd 2012. This is a call form to show the user what they just posted without page refresh, and nothing was done or no page refresh was needed. Go back to browse. Here's our ID of 1, our title, our content and our date time, and I'll just show you with the form, even though it's blank, we try to submit, get please type something, we put OK and OK, submit. Your title and article must be at least 5 characters long. Cancel. Okay, so hope that helps you guys, and I'll see you soon guys, and I'll have some more tutorials up very soon. Thanks, and see you later.